Video games from days gone by are once again becoming a prominent part of gaming culture. Are we headed for a retro renaissance? The repackaging of older games on new systems is nothing new. After all, you could argue that Nintendo started the craze of retro compilations with 1993's Super Mario All-Stars, a compilation of all of Mario's NES adventures remastered to take advantage of the extra power of the SNES, while also making these games more accessible for new and old audiences. It makes perfect sense to repurpose old content in this fashion, but admittedly until recently, retro releases lacked passion and respect for the source material, at least for the most part. Nintendo's Virtual Console scheme had the most promise when it was first announced ahead of the original Wii's launch. The ability to play accurate emulations of Nintendo's entire library on the Wii was a promise that even Nintendo couldn't keep, with sparse releases, glaring omissions and high prices for individual games. For years, even retro compilations have been lackluster, offering bad glitchy emulation, terrible sound, including some that use CD audio for their soundtrack, which faded in and out in between loops which didn't sound right. And some would even mess around with the controls, swapping buttons around in a way that made no ergonomic sense whatsoever. But this year saw the release of two excellent compilations that made me question the need for individual retro re-releases and instead call for compilations that offer more than just ROMs on a disc or a download. First we had Rare Replay, arguably offering the best value of any retro compilations ever. 30 games spanning the entirety of Rare's existence, and admittedly while not all of them are playable by today's standards, a host of options are made available to the player to make a lot of these earlier games just a bit more palatable, including the addition of a rewind function and cheat codes. Then there are snapshot challenges that offer up small snippets of each of the earlier games in the collection in the form of challenges. Add achievements to the mix, and there's now multiple reasons to have a go of the several 20 to 30-year-old games that very few of us would have played unless we owned those games at the time. Plus, this collection offers an astounding array of exclusive mini-documentaries, interviews and other making-of content, which are incredibly interesting to watch. Closely following Rare's excellent package was Capcom's Mega Man Legacy Collection. Developed by Digital Eclipse, this is another example of a decent compilation, even if it doesn't quite compare to Rare Replay, at least in terms of content. Comparisons aside, this collection of all 6 of Mega Man's NES adventures was emulated well and also included all sorts of concepts and promotional artwork, not to mention a ton of challenges. Much like Rare Replay snapshots, these are challenges through the toughest of Mega Man's early adventures. Each challenge also has a leaderboard, and you can even watch replays of the best times to see how those super players are that much better than you. It's the success of these two compilations that give me hope that developers and publishers start to go through their archives and start to look outside of the box in terms of how they repackage these games, and how this content can be repurposed to suit modern audiences as well as appeal to long-time fans. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, could I just ask you to click that subscribe button? It really helps me out and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep gaming positive.